Hi, Algebra 2. Today we are working on matching functions and graphs. So our goal today is that we'll be able to take a graph that looks like this and be able to match it to the equation that it goes with, right? So there are three different formats that we are going to look at. The first one is standard form. And we've been working a lot with this. This is when you have ax squared plus bx plus c. And the standard form helps me to find the orientation, which means direction, helps me to find the direction, and the y-intercept. Right, so it helps me to see where the y-axis is. So the a, right, the a there, this number here in front, if a is positive, then the graph is going to be going up, right? Up like a cup, I might say. Up like a cup, I could fill it up with water, right? And then if a is negative, if it's a negative number, if there's a negative in front, it's going to be opens down, right? This is called opens down. And we could say down like a frown, right? So up like a cup, positive, down like a frown, negative. And then A also tells us how skinny or wide it is, right? So if A is a big number, if A is a big number, it's going to get really, really skinny, right? If A is a big number, it gets really skinny. And if A is a fraction or a smaller number, right? The smaller that the number gets, the closer it gets to zero, the wider the graph gets, right? So graph gets really, really wide if A is a fraction. So if we have something like 3x squared, it might look like this. If we have something like 1/3 x squared, it might look like this. The same is true for these up like a cup. This would be like 3x squared, and this would be like negative 3x squared. Right? So positive up, negative down. If it's a big number, it's skinny. If it's a fraction, it's wide. All right. C, the constant, is always the y-intercept. So the constant is this number here at the very end. The number by itself, that's always the y-intercept. So if it was like x squared plus 6x plus 6, 6 would be the y-intercept, right? So if it was plus 4, 4 would be the y-intercept. If it was plus minus 2, negative 2 would be the y-intercept, right? So it doesn't matter what comes first. Whatever the number is by itself, that would be your y-intercept. So this says, what would a function with no c look like, right? That's like x squared plus 6x and then nothing, right? It's like plus 0. So that would mean that the y-intercept would be 0. It would go through the origin and then come back up. Go through this point right here, just like that. All right, so that is standard form, right? Standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. We've dealt with that in the past, okay? The next format that we have is called factored form. So the factored form helps me find the solutions which are on the x-axis, right? So you might remember we're going to flip the signs to find the solutions. So when we see it like this, we've been doing this since assignment 12, right? When we see it in this format, it helps me find the solutions. So x plus 3, you might remember, would be negative 3. X minus 4, we're going to flip that sign to be positive 4, like this. So we know that we would have solutions at negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And our graph might go like this. Right? If it was negative, that'd be negative like that. If it's positive, then we go like this. Something like that. Sometimes we see it in this format with the little 2 there, the exponent. So x plus 2. That's like saying x plus 2 times x plus 2, like that. So your solutions would be at 2 and 2. Right? There would be 2 of those. Oh, negative 2, negative 2, and negative 2, because this is the opposite, right? So negative 2. So that would be like a graph like this, 1, 2, negative 2, and put our point here. And we're going to have our one solution like that. It's going to bounce off a double root. All right. So factored form tells us where we're at on the x-axis here. X-axis. All right. Finally, our third form, which we haven't done too much with, is vertex form. Vertex form helps me to find the vertex. If you remember, the vertex is the topmost point, right? The vertex is the topmost point, or it could be the lowest point. It could be this point here, right? But it is the point where it switches directions. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, so we're going to take the x coordinate and we're going to flip it, just like we do when we're finding the solutions. So in this case right here, right, we would change this from positive to negative. And we're going to keep the y the same. Right, we're going to keep the y the same. So for this one, it says x plus 4. That's going to flip into negative 4. And the y is plus 9. That's going to stay the same and become 9. Just like that. Go ahead and think about these ones. I have negative 3. So it's going to flip into positive 3. And I have positive 6. So it's going to stay positive 6. So flip, same. So in this one, you can ignore that negative. Doesn't matter. Just means it's going to be upside down. Right? So we have negative x plus 2. So flip this guy into negative 2. Keep positive 10 the same. Positive 10 like that. All right. Okay, so we're going to put all of these things together when we take a look at this graph. So all of these equations are written down here. It says are all the same function written in different forms. So if we put all of these in decimals, we'd get the exact same thing. We'd get the same line. Right? So vertex form, this one here, tells me the vertex. Tells me the vertex is, remember I'm going to flip this one. So I have positive 4 flips into negative 4. And I have negative 4 stays the same as negative 4. So one of my points is negative 4, comma negative 4. So I'm going to go out and negative 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, 2, 3, 4. So that point right there, that is my vertex. That's my vertex. Remember my factored form, like this section, helps me find the solutions, right? So my solutions, right? This one here, remember I'm going to flip. One of my solutions is negative 2. And one of my solutions is negative 6. So I'm going to go ahead and graph these. Remember, these are my solutions. They're found on the x-axis at negative 2 and negative 6. Like that. Those are my solutions. All right, so I'm starting to see that little shape here. Expect it's going to go through up here somewhere. And then finally, my standard form tells me my y-intercept. Right? Remember, my y-intercept is 12. My y-intercept is 12, the last number of the c by itself. And then it also tells me from the front part here, this is positive, so it opens up. Opens up like a cup because it is a positive graph. Right? Positive graph. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So even off my graph, here's 11, here's 12. Just like that. And I know that it opens up. I'm going to go ahead and draw a sketch of my graph just like this, I want to go ahead and actually round this out. It's not a point. It's actually like a roundness here and goes up like this. And force it all the way up like that. I can erase this V if I want, but this is a general graph based off of the information that they tell me here. Okay. That is how our three forms come together from our standard form, A, B, and C, from our factored form with the 2 parentheses, and from our vertex form, where it has 1 parenthesis and 1 extra number here. Go ahead and ask any questions you have. Thanks, guys.